Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome back to another video. This is your host, Rising Oblivion. Today guys, I'm going to do something a little bit different than my normal news videos and kind of just branch out to some other types of content. I figured this would be cool to do kind of as a in-year wrap-up of the games that I've sort of played. I'm going to do my best games of the year video, and I'm going to talk about my top 5 favorite games and talk more about the last one, kind of the most, the game that I think deserved to have, game of the year, because just based on how much I played it and how much I loved it, it's insane. And let me know down in the comment section below if you agree with this stuff, what your game of the year was, or what your favorite games were of this year. But yeah, so I'm gonna do a top 5. This is kind of in order, but the number 1 game is going to be my top of all time game of this year. But let's go ahead and just jump right into this. The first thing I have here at number 5 is Pokemon Scarlet. Now, I know a lot of people are gonna be super against this, and it is number 5 for me, and I'm just including games that I've played this year in this category. That meaning they've released this year. This is my first time ever playing them. There were a lot of games I played, some that were a couple years old or whatnot that I kind of missed, but this is going to be a video about just the top 5 from this year that released this year. So Pokemon Scarlet is number 5 for that. I think Pokemon Scarlet, just on face value, on paper, is one of the best and most exciting Pokemon games that we've ever had. But when it came to the execution, that is where it suffered. Now, I'm not trying to be super negative about this game. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. That's why it's on my list here. It was fun. In terms of Pokemon games, this game actually had a lot more content than what you normally end up having when it comes to Pokemon games. So I was excited for this, and I did enjoy playing through it. However, there is so much of this game where it's just super blank, it's kind of tropey, it's hideous at times. I mean, PS2 level graphics. I mean, not even that, because Kingdom Hearts looks good for PS2. I mean, really bad graphics. It's super low frame rate, and it's, I've played old jrpgs. I've played Persona 3, Persona 2, and stuff like that. I streamed all of Persona 4 on this channel. Older graphics are one thing, but I mean graphics where this game literally breaks immersion and just looks so bad that you're just God, am I even playing a game right now? This looks so choppy and messed up. So I guess that's why Scarlet is so low. If this game had maybe a bigger boost, a better console, a lot of people have been blaming this on the Switch, but there are a lot of titles, like the Mario titles, Shin Megami Tensei V, that are on the Switch that are these bigger games, and they do look significantly better. Do they look like a, PS5 game? No, it doesn't, but still, I think that's why Pokemon Scarlet is there. If the execution was done a little bit better, I think it'd be higher on this list. Alright, let's move on over to number 4, and that is Persona 5 Royal Next Gen. So, I got to play this a little bit early, so I've played this for a little while longer than I think most people in the audience have. I played it on Switch halfway through, then I started streaming it here on the YouTube channel during our Merciless run, which I will eventually get back to once I think stream through Persona 3 when it comes out next month. I got a giveaway. Go check out my giveaway. I'm giving out a copy of Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden, but Persona 5 Royal Next Gen I think is my number 4 on the list because it's just such a good game, and I really enjoy it. And being able to have it on Next Gen, oh my gosh, it looks so much better. Having this thing run at 60 frames and above is so nice. And I have a 4K monitor, so it's sort of upscaled. This thing looks beautiful. It has all the DLC from 5 and Royal and all that together. Just getting to play this game one more time, sort of like my final, run was super cool, and I was happy to do that again. Moving on to number 3, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I've been a super huge fan of the Borderlands series, so whenever they decided to do a Borderlands sort of crossover sort of thing when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons, which is based off of the Borderlands 2 DLC, Tiny Tina's Assault and Dragon Keep, that was what it sort of spurred off from, and I love Tiny Tina, so Tiny Tina's Wonderlands was such a phenomenal game. It's a shooter-looter game that's set in a D&D sort of Tolkien-esque setting, and it's just super interesting how you make a shooter be like that, a shooter-looter be in this sort of genre, it doesn't seem like it works, but like they do it so well, and the execution is so good. This is one of the games that came out way earlier in the year, and I still love it. I have a maxed out character. I can play it with friends. You can play it by yourself. Different ways of playing this game, and you can have, you know, such great experiences with the raids and stuff like that, building different characters. There's a whole lot to do here. The replay value is super high, which is what I always love about the Borderlands games, because it's super hard for them to age. I think that's why Borderlands 2 has stuck around for so long. Borderlands 3, while people might not have liked it as much, still sticks around quite a lot because of its DLC, and again, the replay value and all the stuff there. There's so much to do. You get so much out of your 60, 70 bucks if you're getting a next gen. You get your money's worth. You can have over hundreds of hours playing these games. So let's move on over to number 2. Number 2 being Elden Ring. And I know it won Game of the Year and everything else, but I think it deserves it. Elden Ring was one of the most, I don't know how to explain it, like, captivating games I've played ever. The scale that that game is at is insane. I don't think it's just a Soulsborne game brought into open world. That's what a lot of people like to describe it as, which in a way, yes, you're right. I mean, it has the gameplay mechanics. It is from the same studio who's made the Soulsborne games. Yes, you are right about that. But what else this game brings to this, the different classes, the different types of enemies, these newly designed dungeons with puzzles and things like that, it's a little bit different than it just being a Soulsborne game brought to open world. There's so much more to do. The story is more in depth. There's underground levels. There's levels where you teleport to, you know, in the middle of the sky and all different stuff like this. That's not in a lot of the just regular Souls games. The Souls games are just kind of this layout of multiple castles and stuff like that. The scale at which Elden Ring brings you to, the amount of characters you can play with, the design of the game, the design of the dungeons, the enemies, there's something there for everyone, and all the classes are much better. I usually play magic classes in my Soulsborne games. I love Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. I love them a lot. Whenever I play those, I always play magic characters, and I feel like I got like 5 or 6 spells that are kind of decent, but when you play Elden Ring, it's like, no, there's variety. There's like spells that shoot really far, a big blast sort of spells that shoot a bunch of little ones, spells that can cause poison. There's so much variety that we've never had in a Souls game before. So that's what I mean by scale. It's not just the scales of the worlds, but the scale of different designs and enemies and classes, the puzzles. Even the puzzles and all the different ones, they're all kind of different. So it was really interesting to play this game because it does feel like it's never going to end because of how long it is and how much stuff there is to do. But again, you're getting your money's worth, kind of like I was talking about with Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. You're getting your money's worth. There's so much to do there and so much fun to be had. And the co-op is pretty damn easy. Join in with your friends, a couple other people if you want to, or play it by yourself and just enjoy the story. It's one of the best stories as well, having, you know, some of the best writers ever to be on this thing. George R.R. Martin also helping is, you know, obviously pretty good. The Souls games in general have all been pretty good, but having him along as well is pretty interesting alone. Alright, and the final game being Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. Reunion, I guess. I should put that at the end. Crisis Core exists. Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion. So, I know a lot of people are gonna be sort of against this, but hey, it's my top 5, it's my opinion. It is what it is. I love this game, even though it is a remake. I love the Final Fantasy VII remake, and yes, I have played through like 3/4 of the original Final Fantasy VII. I stopped streaming it for some reason, I don't know why. I really enjoy that too. Believe me, I enjoy a lot of the different Final Fantasy franchises. I'm going through all of the Pixel remasters. I've gone through 3 of them. I've played 15, I've played 14. I've played a decent bit of 13 and 10, so like I've played a decent amount of the Final Fantasies through each generation, so I know a bit about that. I'm not just doing this because it's like my first experience with Final Fantasy. It just so happens to be this game. No, I've played a decent amount of them. I didn't play the original. From what I could tell, though, these are pretty like almost 1-for-1. You know, just the graphics are better. This is a remake, technically, of like the prequel game, I guess you could say, to Final Fantasy VII. So this is nice. If you're a person who's played the Final Fantasy VII Remake, this is perfect for you, which I have. So playing this was super fun. It was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be kind of just using models and different things like that from the remake, which it does for some of the enemies, but this also adds a lot, including places. I think it's De La Soul, which is a map within Final Fantasy VII, the original, that we have not gotten in the remake yet. So we're seeing more parts of this game than we have before, including Cloud and Tifa's hometown. That's in there as well. Also, Gungaga, of course, Gungaga. Also, Zack's hometown. So we're seeing more of the world. So I kind of just thought that this was going to be just, you know, like I said, just you're playing in the different parts already within the remake. Even the parts that you kind of do play already in the remake, they are a little bit different, like when you run into Aerith and stuff. So where this game takes you is really nice. There's over like 300 side missions that you can do as well, which is super fun. There's so much to do when it comes to the content. There's 10 chapters, and all the chapters are pretty lengthy and all have their own mini games in like each one, which I always thought was interesting, how there were different things there. There's a whole sniping, like first-person sniping mini game within one of them, which is like crazy to do, especially for like a Square Enix game, to see something like that. It completely caught me off guard when that ended up popping up. I was like, what is this? There's one where you're like dodging missiles, there's one where you're picking up materia in a place. There's a whole lot of different mini games. There's a whole like Metal Gear stealth mini game section in one of the chapters. It's so cool. And of course, getting to meet Cloud and understand more of the Final Fantasy VII story through this is great as well. And it's really nice to learn, because this gives you more insight behind Sephiroth, his origin story, and some of the other characters as well. Things that happen to Cloud, how Cloud sort of gets set up in the way that he does. All of this has to do with Zack and his whole story arc when it comes to the overall story of Final Fantasy VII. So this game is really fun. The gameplay is good as well. I love the gameplay loop in this. Doing all of the like side quest type stuff doesn't feel boring to me. It feels fun to replay some of these same areas because you kind of know the layout of the stuff already. 300 side missions, of course, a decent amount of the places are going to be like the same ones, but there's still like 20 to 30 different places. So there's a lot of places you go to within these side quest missions, and doing these missions feels fun because you feel like you're actually a part of Soldier, which is like this big, you know, overall part of Final Fantasy that's talked about a lot in Final Fantasy VII, but you don't really get to see what it is, because when you start Final Fantasy VII, Cloud is out of it. He's sort of gone rogue. He's his own man. He's his own hired mercenary. So he's not really, you know, he's not got any correlation with Soldier anymore, other than he just was part of it. So getting to play that and understand more about that and what that is makes the game feel so much cooler. And because when you go to play the remake or get to like play more Final Fantasy VII, like the main story stuff, you get to understand so much more about it, and like why Soldier in some ways is good, in some ways it's bad, they're corrupted. Understanding that story is so cool. And you're doing all these side quest missions too. You get small little tidbits of stuff there, including like a whole entire mini arc with Yuffie, like a younger version of Yuffie, and dealing with Wutai and stuff, because the Wutai War, because this is a prequel, is still going on. So learning about that is cool too. It's not just Cloud. There's bits in there with Tifa, Sephiroth, Yuffie, learning about all these different characters. It's amazing, and I really love that. If you're a fan of the Final Fantasy games, especially Final Fantasy VII, you're going to love this game. And leveling up is fun too. The slot machine thing is there. The different items you get, the different types of magic. Materia fusion in this game. You fuse materias together, which does this interesting bit. Halfway through the game, you get the Buster Sword, which gives you different types of abilities and stuff like that. You level up different limits with other characters that give you different sort of, I guess, like abilities and whatnot. It's all super interesting. I highly recommend this game. It's only $50, even next gen. It's only $50 because it's kind of a remaster, remake type of thing. They make it cheaper. So, hey, if you're a person who's looking forward to playing this game and you don't want to pay full price, it's already not full price. Give it a couple extra months. I'm sure it'll have a Square Enix sale. I think Square Enix did have a sale not too long ago for this game, so it might not be there anymore. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, it's got to be my game of the year. I'm hoping not just saying that because I'm in like this honeymoon phase with the game, but I think I genuinely like this the most out of all the games I got this year because I've been super addicted. I've been streaming it a whole lot. I've been talking about it the whole time I've been playing. I've catched myself playing this game 70 hours in a row where I'm just like, I'll just do a couple side quests, and then there I am playing the whole game. I'm trying to platinum it, so I really enjoy it. Catch me on one of my streams. Subscribe to the channel, like, comment, subscribe for more content. Please go check out my giveaway. I'll have it linked so you can like kind of click at it as a highlighted video at the end of this thing. So it's probably popping up like right about now because I'm ending the video right now. So please go click on it. Go click on it, please. Go check out my giveaway. Give away a copy of Persona 4 Golden and Persona 3 Portable that come out next month. Sorry I've been sick, guys. I've been trying to do as much content as I can, but I've been super sick lately. Hopefully this video didn't come off as me being super sick. My throat's all messed up, so sorry about all that. But go join my giveaway. Get some free games. Giving away 2 games, so you have a decent chance of winning. So go click on that link. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you all so much for watching.